Section 1.2, Objective 7, Convert between percents and decimals. Part 1, Convert a decimal to a percent. Before we start with anything, I want to begin with the definition of a percent, or the word percent. So if we write out the word per cent, and we think of it as like two separate parts. We think of the word per, and we think of the word cent. The word per is literally going to mean divide, right? Divide by, and then the word cent literally means 100. And you see cent in words like century, which means 100 years, right? And there's other words, centennial, centimeter. For all of these, we're using it to mean 100. So the word cent means 100. So percent literally means divide by 100. So if we have something, for example, that says 3%, that literally means 3 divided by 100, or 3 hundredths, 0.03. These are all equivalent to each other. They all mean the same thing. So even though they don't look like they mean the same thing, this, and this, they're all the same. Okay, they mean the same thing. The way I remember converting between percents and decimals and fractions is I try to remember this little diagram. If I see a percent symbol, I know that if I want to convert it into either a fraction or into either a decimal, then I need to use this definition of percent, and I'm going to have to divide the number in front of the percent symbol by 100. If I want to go backwards, then I need to do the opposite operation. The opposite of dividing by 100 is multiplying by 100. So this is what I remember. If I remember this little diagram right here, then I can't go wrong. I'm never going to forget what it is I'm supposed to do to convert back and forth. So to me, this is very important. I would say memorize this. Anything else, after a while, you're going to forget it. You're going to forget if you're just going to remember, oh, I just need to move the decimal over 2 times. And after a while, you're going to forget which way you're supposed to move it when you're converting from what to what. You're not going to understand why you're doing it. So if you remember the meaning of percent, the definition, then I feel that way you can't go wrong. All right. Let's convert here. Convert a decimal to a percent. To convert a decimal to a percent, you are going to multiply the decimal by 100%. And that's kind of like what we're looking at here in this diagram over here. To go from a decimal to a percent, you're going this direction, you multiply by 100. And then, of course, you need to attach that percent sign to it because you're converting it to a percent. So for example, let's say we have 0.32, right? And if we just think about this, if we say this out loud, this is the same thing as 32 hundredths. Then that might be easier to see. Oh yeah, that's 32% because 32 out of 100 is a percent. This is the same thing as 32%. All right. Or we could write it this way: 0.32 multiplied by 100, and remember to attach the percent sign to it, and that's going to give us 32%. Right? A quick way of doing that would be, since we are multiplying by a power of 10, there's two zeros. You are making the number bigger. You're going to multiply this. You're going to move the decimal 2 times to the right. But I always think it's better to remember the definition of percent and to remember what is the actual operation you're doing. Don't just remember, oh, I just moved the decimal over 2 times, because then you don't understand why you're doing it. You must be able to explain the why. Why are you moving the decimal 2 times? It's because you are multiplying by 100. That's why you're moving the decimal over 2 times. All right. So as long as you understand that definition and you understand the why behind it, then you can use this shortcut to convert a decimal to a percent move the decimal 2 places to the right. And add the percent symbol. Okay. So let's try writing this 0.0625 as a percent. Okay, we could use our shortcut, but I like to show the operation. So I'm going to show the operation first. I'm going to write 0.0625 multiplying it to 100%. Okay, now I see that I'm multiplying by a power of 10. It has 2 zeros. So since I'm multiplying by a power of 10 that has 2 zeros, that's why I'm going to be moving the decimal over 2 times to the right. So it's going to be 6.25, and remember to attach the percent symbol to it. All right. And a quick way of checking yourself, because sometimes you do these problems and sometimes it might be the day of the test and you might not be sure if you've got the right answer, is go back and use the percent definition. 6.25%. Remember that percent literally means divide by 100. If we take this number and we divide it by 100, what do I get? Oh, I'm going to get 0.0625, right? You can actually show the work for that if you want to right here if you don't have a calculator. 100 divided into 6.25. Bring the decimal directly up. 100 does not fit into 6. 100 does not fit into 62. 100 fits into 625 6 times. 600, what was I writing? If I take away 600 from 625, I get 25. Bring down the 0. 100 fits into 250 twice. That's 200. And 100 fits into 500 5 times. And it checks out. So it brings us back to the original number. Always check your work. Always make sure that you feel confident that you did this correctly. It's very easy to get confused with percents if you do not understand the definition of percent and you do not understand the operation that you are doing. Do not just simply memorize a shortcut and think that that's going to be enough. You should always dig deep and understand the why. Why am I doing this? Why am I moving the decimal in this direction? And be able to explain it to somebody else. Okay? All right, that's it for this one.